Welcome to the link this week, and we are speaking development and we are speaking skills, and tonight we are focused on the tourism sector. You might be wanting to play in that space. Please listen very carefully. My guest tonight, to my immediate left, Mr. Herbert Byaruhanga, who is the chairman, Tourism Sector Skills Council. Herbert, welcome.
Thank you.
And immediately to his left is Mr. Ham Rukure, who is the skills sector expert from Enabel.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ham.
Thank you so much.
All right, always our time is very, very short, so we are going to go to the point quickly. Let me start with Ham. You are Enabel and other sector players are working on skilling and certification of tourist guides. Give us a brief into what you're doing. What are we talking about?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Tourist guides are part of a big spectrum of the skilling component that we are doing. Enabel, the Belgian Development Agency,
yes,
is implementing a support skilling Uganda program.
Okay.
And ideally the program supports young people and supports all these players really to raise their standards,
okay,
and make sure that what they do is able to translate into relevant and quality skills that are required on the labor market.
Okay.
And therefore tourism is one of the major sectors in Uganda according to the National Development Plan. And so we have been working very closely with government, more particularly Ministry of Education and Sports,
yeah,
and Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife and Antiquities, to make sure that we elevate the level of skills development where young people are able to get skills that are relevant to the labor market, and make sure that they transfer that into the service that is required by the clientele, who are the tourists. And therefore we have been working very closely with the Tourism Sector Skills Council to upskill and retool the sector players, more particularly now the tourist guides. So we started with the development and updating of the curriculum, and more particularly the assessment and training package or packages for the tourist guides. And these packages are basically bringing in a lot of knowledge and competencies that were not in the previous document or curriculum, and therefore that means, or that calls for, a total paradigm shift to make sure that we really get every other aspect that the industry requires and incorporate it in the new content, to ensure that assists those that acquire skills to give the best experience to the tourists when they come. So that's very, very important.
All right. And if you heard what Ham said there is that if you want to become a tourist guide, you don't just become. You have to go to school and gain skills. Let me stay with you, Enabel, you are the funders and including other players. What is the worth of the money you are putting in?
Well, thank you so much. We can now see every other stakeholder, first of all, involved. Yeah. We can see government is very committed to ensure that there is quality and relevance in skilling, and therefore that's why you see the chairman here and the entire ministry now is calling on everybody to participate in the skilling processes. So we're extremely excited that we have really had that mindset change, that everybody is aware that skilling has come and it should be embraced by everybody. But also very important is that we see also now, especially the biggest achievement that we have done, I have seen, is involvement, especially of the employers in the process. Previously, what was there was that you'd really see the training providers supplying graduates to the market.
Yeah, the universities.
Without understanding or even a connection of what the employers wanted. But at the moment we see, even in the curriculum development process, we used, the council works very closely with sector experts, the industry itself, the tourist guides, for example, in this case, they're the ones that are being involved in the development of the curriculum.
Okay.
And that is very critical. We think that that is very critical in ensuring that the skills that are required in the industry is what is put in the curriculum, and whoever uses the curriculum to transfer knowledge and skills is able to meet that objective.
Absolutely.
So that's very important.
Thank you, Ham. Viewers, being a tourist guide is a job, and as we see the economy opening up in 2022, tourism is going to come up again, and they are going to be needing more of such people. And Ham keeps on saying young people. Yes, indeed, a very good number of young people. Let's turn to Herbert. Herbert, who can apply to be trained, and how do I apply?
Thank you very much. Applying to be a tourist guide, it requires a smaller process, very quick process. First of all, it requires training.
Okay.
You must be trained to be able to be given product knowledge. And then after that, you register for assessment. Registration is done at the Directorate of Industrial Training, or Uganda Tourism Board, or Sector Skills Council.
Okay.
All these work together as a team. And then they schedule for assessment, wherever you work from. If you are near a center, a designated center, they take you there. You pay a certain fee, and then you're able to be assessed. After assessment, if you go through very well, then DIT will send the code to the Uganda Tourism Board to give you a license. There is no way you can get a license before you become assessed.
Just pause there. So I'm a graduate. I'm a diploma holder. I want to become a tourist guide. So what happens?
You go for training.
I come to you here. What? You train me in what?
You see, getting theoretical knowledge is not what is required in the tourism business, or especially guiding. We need practicals. The knowledge you have must be relevant to the product.
True.
It must be applied to the time when you have a tourist with you. Because in the university, the colleges,
academics,
they will just talk about academics, but here we take you through. You have to go if it requires to go to the forest, you must go there. If it requires you to look at birds, you must go and show people the birds. If they are butterflies, you must show them. If it is a culture, you must demonstrate that you really understand the cultures of the areas you operate from. So everybody to get a license must demonstrate that they have the required competence and the required knowledge to become tourist guides. All along we've been operating the way it has been, but the things have changed now, laws have changed. Every tourist guide must get the license according to the Tourism Act, and therefore we're encouraging everybody to get there.
Let me come to what you are passionate about, birds. Let me say I know the birds, and I can show you the birds and even repeat their sounds. Is that enough?
No. You know, there is knowing birds, but also showing them to other people. That's a different thing. But also, even if you know the birds and you can show them to other people, but the interpersonal skills also must be checked. Because you could be somebody who has got a very bad attitude, you are not a social person, you are not somebody who lives with other people, it becomes a challenge. So we have to check you and say, if you have capacity to stay with people from different parts of the world, within Uganda, outside Africa, can you live with them for 2 weeks, 1 week? Can you accept to live with other people? Are you tolerant? Are you somebody who is hospitable? Can you live with any other person? Are you a team player?
Can I learn those things when I've grown up?
Yes. At any one time you can, even if you are 40, you can become a tourist guide.
Okay.
As long as you're able to be trainable and you're able to accept where you don't know and be able to be told, trained on how to know things. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for everybody. But we make sure it is open. Tourism is a service of everybody, but of course not a profession for everybody. But once you accept to be trained, then you get the required skills and you can be assessed, and then you get a license to work as a tourist guide.
All right, as we're about to finish, I'm still with Herbert. You are technical. Let me deal with this man of the practice. What difference does it make really now? Okay, I have been trained by Herbert, enabled by Enabel. Pun intended. I've become skilled. What difference does it make?
The people are trained at different levels. There's level 1, level 2, level 3. If you are assessed at different level, then you have capacity to negotiate what you can be paid.
Yeah.
Second thing, you have an attraction from people who want to come and use you. Because there's tourists who want to use level 3, level 4, level 5, depending on what you have covered and the amount of knowledge. There are people who want to go with somebody who can explain every aspect of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
They pay for that. So at every level, you have what you are worth. So becoming a level 1, you have to work hard and become level 2, because level 2 has more opportunities.
Yeah.
Level 3 has more opportunities. Some people have got even free tickets every year on some of the airlines. Some people have got free entrance to national parks. Some people have got free beds in some lodges because they are certain level. Yeah, level 5.
But the point here is, the higher the level, the more money.
Of course,
you want to earn.
The higher you go, the more money you get.
Okay.
The more quality business you get. The more quality business you get.
Let me wind up with Ham in 1 minute. Ham, you have trained people, and I know that today, I think, no, yesterday, you did pass out some people. The program was there was an event to that end. Tell us, what's the future of this training? Tourism, are we going to move to other sectors, or we are still with tourism, with Enabel support?
Thank you so much. Enabel support is, yes, in tourism, but we also, like I mentioned earlier, in other sectors. We are supporting actually national level skilling reforms. In about 10 years ago, government set up what we are calling the Skilling Uganda strategy.
Yes, I remember that.
And just about 3 years ago, again, government adopted the national TVET policy. What this emphasizes is basically a paradigm shift that will see Uganda really come to a level where we have an employer-led skilling system. And that cuts across all sectors. Of course, we might not go into all the sectors at the same time, but at least according to the National Development Plan, there are some sectors that have been highlighted.
Prioritized.
And tourism is one of them, but we're also in construction. Because at the national level, yes, we are building the national systems, and that's why we're working very closely with government, very closely with the Tourism and Hospitality Sector Skills Council and other government agencies, but also very importantly at the field level, we are testing the reforms that have been proposed
to see if they work.
TVET policy, to see whether they work.
Thank you, Ham. My producer tells me there your time is up, and because we are in the middle of the news, it's understandable. When I bring guests, always we scratch the surface. We finish before we are done. But viewers, Enabel, which is the Belgian Development Agency, is supporting skilling, and today we're discussing tourism. You might want to be a tour guide. You need to look for Herbert. He's now the new president of Uganda Tourism Association. He can't hide. You can even find him online. Or go to Enabel, or go to UTB, or go to Uganda Tourism Board, maybe Uganda World Level. So they go to those places. They will tell you how you can be trained and make money out of tourism. That was the link. Thank you for joining us tonight.